Celeb Secrets is here hanging out with Drew Parker, and you have lots of very, very exciting music on the way. We're going to get into all of that. But to start us out, can you talk a little bit about who you are as an artist as well as your musical beginnings?
I mean, I love country music. I'm a country music fan first. And I'm a fan. I grew up a fan of 80s and 90s country music. So those are, kind of my music tends to lean into that a little bit, with I guess, probably a little modernness to it. But I'm a massive Keith Whitley fan, Brooks and Dunn. So there's a lot of influence in that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I started singing when I was at a young age. I sang Southern gospel music first, and that kind of transitioned. I've always been a country music fan, and when I got older, my parents started letting me sing in pizza joints and beer joints. So that kind of it turned into chasing a career in country music, and that's kind of led us all the way to this. It took a long way to get here, but finally made it this far.
Now, you have your label debut EP coming out very, very soon under Warner Music Nashville, which is super, super exciting. Can you talk a little bit about how that record deal came to be and what your reaction was like, kind of getting that big break with Warner Music Nashville?
I recorded the EP back in 2020 and put that out, and there's a song on there called While You're Gone that got picked up by SiriusXM. It was my first number one at SiriusXM, and I think that kind of maybe allowed me to stick my hand up and say, hey, look at me. And so that kind of led me to Warner Music Nashville, and it was my debut single to country radio, which was awesome, something I'd always dreamed of doing. And it's been great recording this new music. Can't wait for it to come out. This is my first label release as far as a full project goes, and super excited about it. Can't wait for the fans to hear it, and I hope they love it as much as I enjoyed working on it.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on your upcoming EP and what fans can expect?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I got a song on here for everything. If you know anything about me, I'm a songwriter, and I enjoy writing songs. But I also know what it's like to be a songwriter and want to have songs recorded by other artists. And I kind of wanted to make sure that nothing went unheard for me. I wanted to make sure that people sent me songs and that I would get to hear new songs that had been written, and make sure I wasn't missing out on recording anything. And so, surprising enough, there are actually 3 songs on this EP that I did not write, which I'm super excited about. One of them being At the End of the Dirt Road, which is written by my good friend Jameson Rogers, who sent it over to me a few years ago, and I fell in love with it. And then a song called I Love You Longer, which is just a great love song that I love so much. It feels very good. And then another song called King of Country Music that was written many, many years ago that we went and recorded and put a video out for already. And it's a song that honestly tells the story of kind of mine and my wife's life, how we met. We met the first time she ever stepped foot in a bar, and how she's been there ever since, supporting me and this dream that I've had. And then the other songs on there that I wrote, one being She's on a Roll, is kind of me kind of getting back to my Southern gospel roots in a feel, but also leans into like a Michael McDonald Doobie Brothers feel. And then a song called My Baby Does, which is another love song that I wrote with some friends of mine. And you can find out a lot about me listening to My Baby Does, because it has everything in it that I enjoy, and just explains it in a way of, I love these things. Lucky I found a girl that loves them too. And so I'm super excited about it. Can't wait for everybody to get to hear it.
Now, you mentioned King of Country Music and touched on that story a little bit. It's your most recent single. So could you talk a little bit about what the fan feedback has been like so far?
It's been great. I think people find a way to insert their story into this song, and just to have a support system in anything you're doing, I think is really good. For it to relate to my life so perfectly was awesome, and is honestly why I recorded it. And to have people understand the place that I'm coming from singing the song, and to really fall in love with it as much as I did, has been really cool. And to get to make the video to really truly explain that story, and people fall in love with, I feel like it's like watching a movie, right? And people fall in love with this fairy tale story that this couple has had. And for people to fall in love with mine and my wife's story and use this song to do that, has been really, really cool. The song is about a guy who works a third shift and is working his butt to sing music. But I mean, I've gotten stories about people who are chasing a rodeo dream, you know, or people that are chasing, a guy chasing a dream of racing motocross. Um, and so it's super cool for people to insert their story. And I mean, whatever that is, to have that person stand beside you and support you along the way and push you to be the best person that you can be. That's what that song's all about.
Your wife is featured on King of Country Music, which is super, super special. So could you talk a little bit about what it was like working with her on that song?
It was fun. You know, I had this idea that I wanted that song to be a duet. And originally I never considered my wife because, I mean, she didn't move to Nashville with me to sing. She moved here to be my wife, right? And so we were driving down the road one day and it just like struck me like, why don't I get, I mean, this story is our story. Why would I not ask her to sing on this? So I asked her, she quickly said no. And I was like, all right, I'll let it breathe a little bit. And then I asked her again, I said, hey, I really would like for you to think about this. She was like, all right, I'll think about it. And then I was like, what if we go and do it on Valentine's Day? So we actually went and recorded that song on Valentine's Day and made a whole thing of it. And it was super special to get to have her help me tell our story, make a video for it and have our little girl there. I mean, that's something that we will have and cherish forever. Nobody can take that away from us. And so that made it just that much more cooler.
Now, if fans were to take away one key feeling or message from listening to your EP from top to bottom, what would you want that to be?
Well, I hope that they see the person that I am. I mean, I'm a family man. I'm a very faith-driven artist, and I honestly hope that my parents are proud of this record. Which is, I think that's the first time I've ever said that. This is the first time I've ever thought that. But I am. I mean, I think this shows how much I've matured since I moved to Nashville 8 years ago and how far I've progressed as an artist, as a songwriter, as a husband, as a dad, as a son, as a brother, as a friend. I hope that people just see that in it, but mainly that just a good dude.
With the release of this EP, it's clear that your future is very, very bright. So is this a glimpse into maybe a full-length project, or what other goals do you have beyond this EP?
You know, it's weird to be talking about new music, but also writing for new music, right? That's just kind of where we're at. But, you know, this music that we're about to put out, I mean, it is so special to me and so true to who I am. And I think as artists, we can get tired of probably playing songs on the road, but this is the EP that I'll never get tired of listening to. It's one of the first times I've ever not got tired of listening to my music because I've been listening to it over and over, making sure that it was right, and I haven't got tired of it yet. I haven't got tired of playing it on the road, and the fans seem to really, really be enjoying these songs, and so to get them out there and for new fans to find them, come to a show and watch us play them live is something I'm looking forward to.
Now, lastly, we are Celeb Secrets. So do you have any secrets beyond music that fans wouldn't know?
If you've ever seen me live, you've heard me talk about it, but I have a college degree in radiology, and I was actually working that job up until the day after I had my first number one, which was Homemade by Jake Owen. But I was, long story short, I was supposed to go work my last shift the day after Homemade went number one. While I was getting ready to go work that last shift, my wife went into labor, and so I had to call out of work. And so in a matter of 72 hours, I had my first number one, quit my day job, and became a dad for the first time.